it really does have a great importance for your business. Now, Company Select, I'm a direct agent for Company's House, which means if you were looking for an agent on Company's House, you will actually find us on there. Working alongside Victoria. Victoria's our finance director. She makes everything add up. I, on the other hand, do all the legal side, okay? Now, tonight, lovely people, I want to talk to you about nurture it or lose it. So it's about your companies. Who are limited companies and who are sole traders? I know you are, Sam, you're a sole trader. How many sole traders do we have in here? So we have quite a few, okay? Now, the reason I want to discuss to you what it means in being a sole trader versus a limited company, because some it benefits and some it doesn't. Some has its pros, some has its cons, okay? Now, as a limited company, straight of all, once you've been incorporated, it gives you that kudos of who you are, okay? And the business that you can actually do with other businesses. Now, there are about 3.5 million limited companies out there and about 2 million sole traders, okay? So we've got that balance. And the reason people are finding it difficult to transfer from a sole trader to a limited company is because they don't know, okay? And this is the daunting thing. When you're setting up on your own, you don't know who you've got to talk to unless you know what you're doing. Now, I've been doing this for a long, long, long time, and we've come across a lot of people who have made mistakes, and you're bound to, okay? So, you know, if you're thinking of becoming a limited company, it gives you, like I said, that extra kudos for your business, because if you want to trade with other companies, they prefer to use limited companies. But by that, you have to file things on Company's House. Now, if you don't file your annual return or your confirmation statement, as it's all been called now, your company can get struck off and you don't get notified, okay? You'll have a gazette come through the post saying your confirmation statement is due to file, but you don't know what it is. Because when you incorporate a company, nobody tells you that you've got to do this, that you've got to do that. Because you would think that your accountant would tell you if you've got an accountant, but not all the time do they do. You know, we come across accountants that are a little bit whiffy here and a bit whiffy there, as you know. We've come across them all the time. But with sole traders, you don't have to file accounts with Company's House. So in Ironside, having, I've said it wrong, haven't I? I always get that word wrong. What's the word, Victoria?
Hindsight.
Thank you. I couldn't think what it was called then for a minute. I had a bit of a moment. So logically, being a limited company would benefit you a lot more. Now, if you are thinking of setting up your business, okay, and you don't know where to start, what to do, what to talk to. We're only based at Stafford Park, just next door to the Chamber. And we are the only one in Shropshire of the work that we do, but not just in corporations. Like I said, we will do the HR, we'll do legal, we help business, we give that business support. Anything your company needs, we can make it work for you. So by nurturing it or losing it means that, okay, you've got a company, but at the same time, you've got to look after it. So if you've got a limited company and you don't file all the necessary documentation, it's going to go. And the thing is, like I said, companies won't inform you, and once the company's gone, and if you've got money in your bank account, poof, that's gone to the Crown. And to do that, we've got to reinstate the company. Is it worth it if the money you've got in the bank? So you've got to assess it. So really, thinking about it, we all want to do well in our business, but you need the right support. And if you haven't got the right support, it's not going to work. We had a client come in to see us last week. They incorporated a fabrications firm, last April, and they did everything wrong. And then when they came to us and they said, well, I wish I'd seen you 6 months ago. Well, seeing us 6 months ago, it's a bit too late. The company's been struck off, and there was nothing we could do to help them get back on track. So if we plant the right seeds and nurture our business right from the start, you're not going to have all these issues. And another thing I'd like to sort of bring to your attention, on the table, I've got a lovely little form here called Fraudsters Come in all shapes and sizes, and believe you me, they do. I have to protect a lot of companies that I incorporate, because if, say for example, you, Aid, okay, you've got a limited company and you set it up by yourself and you didn't proof it. Does you know what it means? Does anybody know what proofing means?
No.
You know. Did you say? No?
No.
Okay. Well, I need you to know, because it's really important, and it's very simple and it's free to do. When you incorporate a limited company, once it's been done and you've got all the certification, that I then go onto the main computer that I've set up with their logins, and I proof it. Now, say for example your company's proofed and your company's not, right? I can hijack you like that, and you wouldn't even notice, because you don't get notified by Companies House. And the way that they do it is they just take a pot chance. There's about 50 to 100 every month that people get hijacked. And the first thing that they will do, they'll just pick on a random company, send in an AD01, which is the registered office address, change it, bearing in mind nobody is notified, okay? When I've changed the registered office to my home address, for example, or whatever address it may be at the time, I will then change the authentication code. I then change the authentication code, means that I can put myself or anybody else on Companies House as a director. And the main reason they do all this is because it's fraud. They want to get money from the banks or any tenders that they're working on. And then once they've appointed themselves as directors, you still don't know. And once they've done what they need to do, they take themselves off and you're left with a baby. So basically you're left with a big fraud against your company that you didn't even know about. And this happens all the time. So I would urge you, those who have got limited companies, to take a look, go onto your site with your authentication code and just proof it. If you don't know how to do it and you want me to do it, by all means, I can do it for you. But it's really important because it's your livelihood. And if people don't know about their businesses and what's going on, then you just don't know what's going to happen. So thinking about it, like I said, when we were talking about sole traders, we all start off as sole traders because we don't know how to start. And then if you feel as if you are growing and you're getting all the clients, Sam, and you think at some point that you think you need to be a limited company, it's because other companies prefer you to be limited and your liabilities are all protected at the same time. So, as a sole trader and as Ant on a limited company, right, if he had debts in the company's name, it won't be Anton thereafter because he will have no assets within the company. So it's all secure. But if you, on the other hand, as a sole trader, they can come to you and take what they can from you personally. So it's balancing the pros and the cons and what you feel as an individual you want to do for your business. And there are so many other issues that I could talk to you about, which would, it's just so much to take in. So I thought by giving you a little bit to start with will make people think. Now for you, Kai, if you wanted, I know you're a sole trader, but would you find it that you would get more work if you were a limited company because they prefer to use limited companies and sole traders?
Well, absolutely.
Okay, so is it because you feel daunted, or you don't understand, or you don't know what the differences are between a limited company and a sole trader? Is that why you've stayed as you are, or are you happy the way, as working the way you are?
It's hard to say, because if I was to become limited, the first thing that comes to my mind is, what about VAT?
Mm-hmm.
What about my level of business, of trade?
Okay.
Does that got to be up to a certain
Yeah.
speed?
Well, I think to be VAT registered, you're on the threshold. It's about 80,000 in Victoria. So if you were making 80,000 and more, yeah, you've got to be VAT registered.
Yeah.
But it's called creative accounting. You know where to hide everything in the right places, as they say. There's plenty of pockets. It's just knowing where to store it. Okay, and I think people have the option, but I think it's because they don't understand. And I personally think that we have to work. We all work hard in what we're trying to achieve, but if in doubt, all you've got to do is ask. Like I said, we're only down the road, not far away, and we're part of the FSB. So any time you feel as if you want to discuss anything, or you're not sure about anything, then by all means just scream, because very, very loud, hear you. So that's it really. Is there anything you'd like to throw at me?
Can you go over that proof thing again?
Of course I can. It's actually
So
called.
how would I know, where would I go to find out whether we were proof?
You would have to go on your own site. Do you know your authentication code?
So when you say our own site, your own website?
Yeah, your company's house. You'd have to log in
Okay.
company's house with your unique authentication code, which you don't give to anybody. If you haven't got it,
Yes.
right, you can apply for it. It'll come to your registered office.
Okay.
If you don't know how to do it, ask me and I'll get it sent over to your registered office. Now, once you get the code, then you have to log on company's house, register. It's called web filing. Okay?
It's called what, sorry?
Web filing.
Web filing.
Web filing. So it'll give you your unique email address, which you'll put in, and then your unique number. Log in onto your company, and it'll come up, right? It'll come up right at the top. It's like I'm looking at it as I'm speaking. Right at the top, you'll have change registered office address. In the middle, it'll say join proof, and it's blue, not capitals, and it's underlined underneath, and it says join proof. When you click on that, that will automatically put you in the proof criteria. This stops people changing the registered office address.
So basically you're just locking your company down, as in terms of...
It's your company, because that authentication code for your company relates to that.
So no one can then log on and change directors and change things. Okay, so it's basically just
Not
putting a password on
unless,
almost.
exactly.
Okay.
So say you had an issue and somebody you thought was hijacking your company. I could then change the authentication for you, because what you have to do, you have to go through all these different backside channels to make sure that you are the right person that we're changing the code for. So we have to get a letter of authenticity with the code that you want to change it, so nobody can touch your computer and your details, of course, of the company's house. So once you join the proof, nobody can change the registered office address, nobody can appoint themselves as directors or company secretaries, nor can anybody file annual accounts. Now, if that happens, okay, if somebody tries to do that, you will then get notified that somebody's trying to hijack your company.
So you'd need to give that code to the accountant
Of course.
when they do their
Yeah, your accountant should have that code when
So
he does because they have to file the annual accounts on company's house
Yeah.
once they've done them. Okay,
Yeah.
without that code, he can't do it unless he produces accounts.
So either we're not proofed or he has the code.
Say again, sorry.
Either we're not proofed as a company, no
Okay.
one's trying to hack me, or he has the authentication
You need to
code.
have that as well.
Okay.
You need to make sure you keep it. It's like a PIN number for your credit card.
You'll have
You-
it somewhere.
Is it a UTC number?
No, No,
Is that different?
It's completely different. It comes in six. It's numbers and letters, but it's up to about 6. Okay, so you'll have numbers and letters all kaboogled together. Okay, and then basically you put that code in and you proof it, and it will print you off a confirmation, and you'll get a confirmation through your email that you've registered the web filing too. And I'm quite surprised those who are limited companies that you accountants haven't told you. But this is it, you see. Accountants do what they do.
We change accountants regularly. We don't like them.
Exactly.
Move on.
Yeah. So
Don't give me
and
the right-
Yeah, not giving me the right numbers.
accountants don't always know the stuff that we do at Companies House. They do. They are trained to do accounts. They're not trained to tell you you've got to proof it. You've got to do this. This is what's going to happen, because they don't know. And this is our speciality in assisting small businesses to grow and to protect. Because about 2 years ago we had an issue. Somebody did hijack a company, and it was a client of mine. Okay, and I was quite fortunate because I can follow companies. All the clients that we look after, we can follow the company. So if something happens all of a sudden, it says, oh yes, something's occurring, you know, and then I can investigate it straight away. I can speak to our team at Companies House and say, this is happening, so we can block it, okay, until further notice. And then what I do is change all the codes. So that is the only thing that protected the client from being hijacked, basically. So
Why? Sorry, I'm
No,
hijacking
carry
your
on.
conversation. But why doesn't Company House notify
they
you
don't.
of anything?
They don't.
Last
This is, you see, twice a year we'll have meetings in Birmingham, board meetings with Companies House, and all the time we've mentioned, why don't you notify people? Pointless, they said, because they pay no attention.
Well,
That's what they said.
We had an incident last year where it was a company called Global Freight Systems down south.
Yeah.
A company in Northampton raised a CCJ against Global Freight Systems,
Right.
but used our address.
That's fraud.
So, well, no, it wasn't fraud, because the what do they call it? The bandits who come back, who run after the money and stuff like that, chase the solicitors, where there's blame, there's a claim, those sort of people.
Right.
They were chasing the debt,
Okay.
and so obviously they hadn't paid. They followed the procedure, then they raised the CCJ.
Okay.
The only reason we realised we had a CCJ against us, even though it wasn't against us, was the fact that our credit report went through the floor, because some of our suppliers were ringing us up and saying,
course,
"Oh,
yeah.
your credit, why is your credit changed?" We were like, and so we looked on Company's House,
Yes.
because you can see, and we suddenly realised we got a CCJ. It took us 6 months to rectify that CCJ. At which point, it wasn't even us. It wasn't. It was proved. The downside to that story is the fact that our credit rating is only now coming back up again, even though nothing has changed in the company. We still have the same amount of money, we still have the same amount of employees. It wasn't even us involved.
Yeah.
The Company's House,
They-
even the court. I mean, we didn't, because they said, "Oh, you should receive a letter from the court," and we didn't. We didn't receive anything.
No. This is the issue we are having all the time with Companies House, because even if we appointed a new director, yes, you'll get notified that a new director has been appointed, but any changes like I discussed before, if you changed your registered office address and you hadn't put the new one in, then you're going to lose everything. This is why people need to be very vigilant on their company. Just because it's been incorporated doesn't mean it has to stay on the shelf. You've got to nurture it, or you're going to lose it. Simple as that. And it happens all the time because people don't know. And this is what I'm trying to make people aware, just a little bit, of what they need to look for in their company. So it's, like I said, there's so many things that I could.
Well, Yasmin, could you explain what a certificate of good standing is?
A cog. I've nicknamed them cogs. Right. A certificate of good standing. Anybody know what a certificate of good standing is? Okay. Those who are limited companies and who have, after 12 months, have filed everything spick and span with Companies House. I've got nothing against them, no debentures, no nothing, everything is clear. You are entitled to have a certificate of good standing. Now, the certificate of good standing gives the company a lift, 100%. So if you're looking to gain funding from anywhere, or banking, or overseas, or anything like that, if you produce a certificate of good standing, you can't get any higher than that. and I prepare them, framed as well with your nice certificate. 47, no,
45.
45 something. You know, she's the accountant. She knows. I told you I'm not the accountant here. I just do all the legal stuff. So if you want a certificate of good standing, then just let me know. But I really could talk. I'd love to talk to you. You've been fabulous, and thank you so much for listening. Before I go, this here, the TLC. This is the TLC. What is it, Victoria?
Business exhibition.
Oh, it's the business exhibition. Thank you. On the 21st of May of this year, we're doing a TLC exhibition. Okay. We're also working alongside Mr. Ray here, so he attends the TLC networking, and we bring people to the FSB. And what we're doing an exhibition on showcasing people's businesses. It's a proper showcase, stand, exhibition for any kind of business. If you're part of the TLC, you get a stand for £75 plus all your food and all your tea and coffee. For those who aren't a member, they only pay £95. Parking is free, and we're having it at the football Telford ground. Is that right? Yeah? AFC.
Yeah.
Do you know, why is English so hard? I tell you. Yeah, exactly, absolutely. You know, I could have said that better myself. So if you are looking to showcase your business or stand or anything like that, then I can take one of these and I can take your details and by all means email you with everything you need to know. So have I completely kerfuffled you?
Yeah.
Okay, let's thank
Of
you.
course.
All right.
Sorry, what's your name?
My name's Simon Yates.
Hello, Simon.
From the Simcoe Precision. If you go on Company's House and go onto your company,
Yes.
and you've been hacked, will it show if somebody's added themselves onto a doc?
You'll be able to see it,
so
yes.
You can monitor that.
You
daily?
can monitor it as long as you've got your authentication code. Monitor your business because nobody else will do it for you, and it's really, really important because, like the gentleman said, once it happens, then you're left with a problem, and it could cause your whole livelihood. So
with regards to all of this, from what I'm gathering, I'm only a sole trader, but so negligence isn't an excuse for you not filing any of your returns and things like that, but Company's House will be negligent in informing you of anything taking place.
yes, they'll inform you if you haven't filed your confirmation statement.
But not if you've been hacked.
Yeah, no. Not at all.
So-
Because they take it in good faith that if somebody appoints themselves, yeah, honestly, they take it in good faith that, say if you appointed yourself as a director on Company Select, okay, I know I would know, but other people won't, you see. And what happens after about 5 to 6 days, that person will have a letter to say that you've been appointed as a director, but it will come to your home address because in the meantime you've changed the address first before you can appoint yourself as a director, because you can't do it director, you can't do it the other way around because you need that code, and without that code you can't do anything. I tell you, it's like gold dust. So be vigilant, keep your code safe. If you can't find it and you don't know what to do, let me know and I can get one straight delivered to your registered office address.
So best practice, we use a first credit to every customer that we deal with.
Yeah.
We'll do a credit check on that. Not because we
yeah,
want to see how bad
we
they
do
are.
anti-money laundering and all sorts.
We just want to see that if they're asking for £5,000 worth of credit, does that link up with the credit thing? But what we do on a monthly basis is we also check our own credit report.
Yes.
And that's where we found the CCJ. That's
Yeah.
where you find your directors, you find everything. So if someone's going to be
Everything.
added,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that because that comes from a Company's House, it'll be on those reports.
Yes.
They can't hide it.
No, but with regards to when you're doing your credit checks, you should get notified if anything, because we
Correct?
do.
Yes. If
And
something gets changed,
exactly,
then yeah.
that way you will know.
Yeah.
Because every client we have to AML check. So if they've appointed or filed accounts, for example, we get to notified it
If
straight
people leave the
away.
board, if people don't leave the board, people add.
Company's
it-
House
it comes
won't,
through. No.
but credit
Credit
check and
agencies do.
all them people will advise you that ping, something's occurring. You know, so on that score,
Yeah.
that's okay. But on the other hand, with Company's House, they don't say anything, and then by that time they've taken the money, gone to Thailand or wherever they've gone, and you're left holding the cradle, aren't they? So
Okay.
thank you so much,
Thank
ladies
you
and
very much.
gentlemen.